What a crazy couple hours it's been, because we've had no trades besides the Trae Young one, a couple weeks back, like 3 weeks ago now. I've been so excited to see the Giannis trade that looked like it was probably going to be done on the day of the trade deadline. And today, suddenly, every single team started ramping up the trades. And I even had to double check to make sure that today wasn't the NBA trade deadline. Because as soon as we saw Jaren Jackson get moved, everybody just started throwing trades out. And the day started off with James Harden requesting a trade. I just kept getting notifications about it ramping up, them both being persistent about closing a deal. And then suddenly I got the Jaren Jackson Jr. notification saying that he's going over to Utah. And I could not believe it. You guys know the details as much as I do. That Jaren Jackson Jr. trade for Utah and for the Grizzlies in general make a lot of sense. The Grizzlies get 3 first-round picks. They get some young players, and it automatically starts the rebuild. Now you know 100% Ja is going to get traded before the trade deadline. But for Utah, you're getting a team like I've never seen a team so bad, because right now they have 16 wins or something like that in the Western Conference. A team so bad buying on a player. Now I do understand that they're buying really low, of course. I mean, it was a couple first-round picks, but they have a decent amount of picks, and they got good young players. So now your core, or at least the team you have, is Keontae George. You got Lauri Markkanen, you got Walker Kessler, you got Ace Bailey. So you got all these players and you add Jaren Jackson Jr. I see the vision they have. However, you also don't know how far this team can go, because it's a very weird situation to buy so low on a player that is good, but not a player that's going to really move the needle from a 15-win team to a real playoff contender, especially not in the West. But I do like the move for both sides, because it does kind of make sense. I mean, if you have the opportunity to go for a player like that, and you know that if you go for any other player in the future, it's going to cost you a lot more, then it does make sense to go out for a Triple J. But it's just not the team I would have expected. I would have expected a lot of other teams to go for Triple J before Utah did. I thought Utah might have another couple months. I mean, I know they said they weren't going to be tanking anymore, but still, I cannot believe that they just went out for Triple J like that. Of course, Triple J has the biggest name that's getting traded, but to me, the biggest thing that's happened was the Timberwolves. To me, it was they let go of Mike Conley in a 3-team trade with the Pistons and the Bulls, and they got nothing back in return for Mike Conley. It was essentially just clearing up cap space and giving yourself room to pursue Giannis, and that depleted me as a Heat fan, because it felt like my chances of getting Giannis were even lower. But it makes a lot of sense, and it really just showed how quick they turned those gears to get Giannis. Then the Bulls end up with Jaden Ivey, which I thought was great for the Bulls. You buy low on a player who has some pretty good upside. It's so nice to know that they're finally moving everybody off, because they're just getting everybody that has value. They're going to keep trading for picks, for assets, and it just makes sense, because I was really worried that they would not go out there and make a trade by the trade deadline. I thought they were just going to have another year where they're too stubborn to just reset and hit the reset button, but they're really doing it. They traded Nikola Vucevic to Boston, and of course they got Anthony Simons in return, but you know a contender's they're going to want an Anthony Simons, and you're going to be able to get good assets off of him as well. So I love that trade for them as well. Now the amount of point guards you have from the Bulls, which a lot of teams desperately need, you have some leverage there, and you can you can start garnering up some picks. And I love that for the Bulls. If you're moving into a rebuild, this is where you want to go. So I love the fact that they're doing this, and they're still trying to ship off Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White, which I am 100% on board with. These players that they have are all great players, and they have great upside. They need to be on a different team contending and building a real roster. I felt like in the Bulls, it was just an impending explosion, because nothing was going to happen. Now you can officially hit the reset button as long as you keep trading everybody away, and you can have a real rebuild. I love the Bulls as a franchise. Their front office hasn't been the best. Their ownership may have not been the best. But still, I want to see the Bulls compete. So to have a good rebuild, get a young player over to the Bulls, I'm going to be excited for the Bulls to get a top 10 pick or top 5 pick in the next couple seasons, and to see them try to rebuild a full roster together, because I love when teams do that, especially a team like the Bulls. Of course, the Pistons also ended up getting a couple shooters, and they're just kind of, filling in the gap or in the holes, but it wasn't like a big trade for them. But it's just so refreshing. We really got trades, and I loved it. It felt like in the middle of my job, I was just seeing the landscape of the NBA start kind of shifting in a certain motion. The Grizzlies, the Bulls, they're shifting into a rebuild. You got other teams who are going to start trying to buy into all these players. And it just finally made sense. Seeing the Keon Ellis trade the other day made me feel like, okay, we're back in action. But I don't know what it was that made these NBA teams just start sending out trades. But I'm just excited, because we're finally going to start seeing these trades happen. Hopefully tomorrow is just like today. And I hope the trade deadline is also like it's going to be like today. All I know 100% sure is Giannis and Ja are going to be moved in the next 48 hours. And wherever they end up getting traded at is going to be really like affecting my mood because I want Giannis to go to the Heat. But more importantly, it's going to change the landscape of the NBA. These two players can heavily shift a franchise in the right direction or in the wrong hands in the wrong direction. So it just all depends on what happens in the next 2 days. But the only other thing I wanted to touch on before I let you guys go was Draymond Green is now going to get shopped around and seeing what his value is around the league. Now, I did see a couple like quotes saying that he would be open to playing with LeBron and would love to play with LeBron. It's hard to see Draymond play for any other team that doesn't have Steph Curry on it because of the play style that he's been with for 14 years now. So to any other team, let's be 100% honest to what he can bring. Offensively, he can bring some playmaking. He can bring some like leadership, some vocal, like being vocal is what he's there for. And defensively, he can make a bigger impact. He can really move the needle for some teams defensively. But what teams really need that? Because the Warriors love using Draymond as a hub sometimes, as not the pick and roll guy, but the guy sending screens and playing the offense. I understand like a team like he would love to play with LeBron, but you got Luka, you got Braun. I don't see how he would fit in there. I don't see how he would fit in a lot of different teams. And I'm just being 100% honest. So when you're looking at Draymond and what his like trade partners could be, I cannot, and it's just me, it probably is just me, I cannot think of a team that would be a full great trade partner for Draymond. If we're all being honest with each other, it probably was kind of overdue. We knew this core of Draymond and Steph post the 2022 championship was just not going to work out. And with Jimmy just getting hurt, it's just about time. And when you got players like Giannis and John, like all these players that they're going to be moving around, nobody's safe. So it just made the most sense if we're really trying to maximize Steph Curry's career, which clearly they are if they're trying to shop Draymond, then you're going to have to give out basically everybody but Steph. And if that's the move and if that's what you want to do, if you really want to pursue Steph Curry's last couple of years and really push for a championship, you cannot be like, all right, let's hold on to this player as well. You're going to have to give everybody up. So we just got to make sure that they make the right trade. But 48 hours, guys. 48 hours and we see some of the biggest names we've ever seen traded. And man, is Giannis going to shake up the league, because even if he goes to Minnesota, it is going to be a wild ride seeing Minnesota juggle and Giannis. So I don't know how that would go, but it's going to be a super fun team to watch. If he goes to Miami, I'm going to be repping in Miami. I'm going to buy 15 jerseys from this guy. It doesn't matter, but cannot wait to see what happens, man. But I appreciate you guys watching the video. Leave comments and let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the next 2 days. And if you really think Ja's going to get moved and what team Giannis is going to end up being traded to. But thanks for watching, guys. And don't forget to subscribe.